Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming back. And I want to do a story on a young girl. She was 23 years old. Her name was Madison Riley Hall, and she was a college student from Texas. And Madison went to go babysit these 3 pit bulls and it would be the first time her watching these pit bulls. So unfortunately, she was watching them and the neighbors heard her screaming. She was being attacked and she was killed and she was being eaten by all 3 pit bulls. They had called the police. The officers had to kill one of the dogs because the dog tried to attack him while the other 2 would guard the body while one would eat. So what we want to know is, we're going to ask that same question. Did Madison Riley Hall, a college student, die from the attack of the pit bulls? Okay, so there's the home. Here she is as a nice student, doing a good job, a good deed by watching the animals, okay? And this is also a big yes. Here she is watching them. And then things took a different turn from a different perspective. She didn't have time to make a split choice. Things actually came crashing down on her, unfortunately. And this is when the attack happened. She was outside in the backyard, and there was no saving her, pretty much. This is when someone their energy and life starts to get drained. Unfortunately, this is also a death card. When I'm seeing this card, I see the body, the cells, how the energy starts getting drained, and the blood loss. So, yeah, that's pretty much telling us right there. So she was pretty much dragged down to the ground, and there was no way she was able to stop this. Now, the officers say that they were able to get 2 of the pit bulls back into the home. The officer shot one of the pit bulls that tried to attack him as he tried to approach the gate. So show me the officer approaching the gate. Here he is coming in to do his duty. This is the card of an officer. You know, it's the officer card as he came in. And unfortunately, that came to an end where he had to he did put several bullets into the dog. These are also bullets. This is a police officer, a soldier. He's in full uniform and he has his weapon drawn. And that showed as he had to shoot the dogs. So show me what happened to the other dogs. The owners had to go before the courts. So show me what the officials said about what should happen to the remaining 2 dogs. So they went before the court. Here's a judge. There's another judge. They made the decision. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that judge was a female, but here's making a balance. See how everything is balanced right here. And that's also a card for a judge. So they came in and they made the 2 decisions of the 2 dogs that attacked, that came forward. Here's the 2 dogs again, 2 attacking. And they were able to pull her to the ground. So what was their final decision? The judge's final decision was to go ahead and this is being euthanized too. They're tying the dogs down because the dogs were too destructive. It attacked. So those were the 2 dogs right here that are also being put down. Even though some people don't agree and may say, well, it wasn't the dog's fault. But the judge made the final decision. That's the final judgment right there. So that's what happened to this poor young woman. I mean, It's a really awful story. It's not a good one. Okay, and then let's go to our next story. Okay, so I'd like to ask my spirit guides, please show me what this child, this little 7-year-old boy, Gabriel Fernandez, had been through before his passing. A little Gabriel Hernandez was beaten, choked, shot at by his own mother with a BB gun. His head was shaved. The boyfriend knocked out the little boy's teeth. They would stand up and hold him up and beat him until he died. He was hit with belts until he bled. He just had a really hard life, which was not deserving. He did not deserve that at all. He was one of God's angels. But show me what happened to Gabriel, and then we'll look at the justification. So show me little Gabriel Hernandez. Okay, so he had a bunch of different crossroads he had to do, which is true, because as he was growing up, the mother had lost custody of him, so he was staying with uncles and aunties and grandparents, but the two that had him, his life was really flourishing. Okay, so the life he had was he was loved, and then all of a sudden something got seen different. This all changed, and this is where all of the cruelty came out and was unleashed on this child. This little boy was just a little absolute angel. So they beat him so bad and tortured him and said so many cruel things to him. So him being tortured and beat, this is also a death card. This is end of life. So the angels came and carried him away for this young man. So what we want to ask now, Gabriel's mother, who is now in prison, is she going to stay there for good and not trying to appeal? Oh yeah, she'll stay there. So here's his mother going to prison. That's also her mind. She's not always there. She's like, her mind is not there. Her mind's really sick. This is her mind. See how the brain is right here, and how it's almost like wet brain. Her brain is just no good. Her emotions are no good. She's just not there. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's defending herself, trying to defend herself in prison from other inmates. Now we want to look at the man that helped killed little Gabriel of his passing. This is now we're doing her boyfriend, the mother's boyfriend. So this is the boyfriend who thinks he's got to come to terms and join in forces with the mother. He's also a very scary big guy, very domineering, and you could tell right here. This is somebody who feels like they have the authority. And he didn't care, because for him, he just felt he was going to get something good out of it. For him, it was like he did not realize. No, I'll take that back. He does realize what he's doing, but the end thing, what we want to know is, how is he now doing in prison? So he didn't think anything was going to happen to him when he went before the judge. So here's the jury, judge and jury, right here. Here's all the peers. Here's all the inmates as well. Show me the end result is how this man is doing in jail. Not good. This is somebody who's also, he's been knocked out a couple of times. He's been dragged. He's also been dragged by other inmates. And this man has to try and do something. He's crying every night too. Here's the cell. See the bars? So he's not going anywhere. And this is him just trying to forget his life. This is also a card if somebody tries to get high or trying to forget. I say it that way because I see this as also like a bong. Somebody getting high on weed. Yeah. But it's like he's not fully there either. I don't want to say as a smart person. I don't want to say that. I want to say emotionally. So he is also very emotionally a damaged person. You know, whatever he did with Fernandez and himself. So it all goes back, you know. Okay. So show me little Gabriel on his passing. Yeah. So this is him on his passing. Little Gabriel. That's passing. This is this little boy had so many gifts to give in life. He was vivacious. He was loving. He had so many gifts. But unfortunately, you see all the injuries that he had to endure on his legs, knees, hips. The mother even shooting him with a gun, the BB gun, you know, getting hit in the stomach and the solar plex right there. There's the red chakra. He was getting hit right there. And he was being moved around a lot. And this is also somebody who's in a box. See the box? In order for him to sleep, he had to lay in that box. So this was little Gabriel at the very end. He did, you know, the angels did come and get him. When the angels came and got him, they got him right away. They did. The body may have been moving, but they came and got him right away. This is also, unfortunately, the angel of death. Okay. But he was pretty much his little body was just completely broken down. This little boy, when I did his life path, he's a life path of a 2. And that is the most loving number as a life path. They just want to be loved. They love being in love. They're just so sweet. They're vivacious. They're always happy. And that's exactly how that little boy was. Yes, he was. So I want to know, show me the end result to make sure that we want to know, well, Pearl Fernandez's boyfriend, the one that helped helped him with the passing of Gabriel. Show me how he's doing now. Show me what he's doing now. Show me him now. Okay, well, I see he's getting raped. This is a rape card as well. So I see him getting raped and he just wants out of there. So he's losing his... Yeah, he's not doing good there. Yeah, he's thinking if he hangs out with a certain crew or certain people, he's going to be able to, you know, have a good time, not in prison, not have a good time, but it'll be easier. And it's not, because all that energy came back. All of this negative stuff that he did, all that energy got all up around all the inmates, and they know. So they were able to get a hold of him. You know, and who knows, no one's ever really going to say that or announce that. Yeah, but this is also him now. We're looking at, he's also been beat as well. It's almost like somebody got a hold of him and said, how do you like it? And it was the same thing with the mother. Okay. So let's do another one. Okay, so I have another question. Welcome back. And this is about Prescott. Prescott is very haunted for all of us ghost hunters out there. So I want to ask a question. Is the parking lot of Prescott, it was called the Van Dome, is that haunted? Does somebody lurk in that parking lot? So let's see what we get. Is that parking lot haunted? The Van Dome, is that area haunted? Okay. Yes. Okay, so it is haunted and it does have several spirits. So that's us going in and doing our investigations. And then, you know, that's us just out there ghost hunting. There's the hunter doing the hunting, okay? And so whatever hides in the dark eventually comes to the light. It is shown about what's going on, you know? And this is when we prepare ourselves. You know, we ground ourselves, we meditate, we make sure we have, we ask for protection to be around us. So we do our prayers. And so right here, what I got is there was actually a woman that was in this parking lot where all the cars parked. And unfortunately of her passing, you know, she was murdered in there. And that's her trying to communicate. Now, it's funny how we got these cards because I do happen to have that picture right here. So this is the parking lot of the Van Dome, and this was in Prescott. So I'm looking through one of the windows, through one of these buildings of the Van Dome, and Hank is just leaning over my shoulder, trying to get a look. And as you can see right here, I don't know if you could see it, there's a woman right here looking down at us. So the answer is yes. She was trying to make the communication with us of her passing. So the Van Dome is that area. For the ghost hunters out there, we loved going there. And another one I want to ask is Tombstone, Arizona. That was a very fun place to go to. It is so nice. You get back into the Old West and everything. So I always have fun every time I go. So is Tombstone haunted? So we went down to Tombstone. This represents me. So we go down to Tombstone, and here's all the spirits. We always do our ghost hunting, of course, at night. And those that have already laid to rest. So that's when the ghosts also come out and do their communication. Do they do it only at night? No, they do it during the day as well. So there we are down there with our equipment, you know, putting everything out because of what goes on in Tombstone. It was, you know, it's a town too tough to die. So there were a lot of deaths there, you know, a lot of caves in, fights. Okay, so now that we're there, we're looking, and then ghosts do come out at night. They do come out. And we were standing there watching because we felt somebody was staring at us. So we turned around and took a picture. Well, my friend did. So once Grace turned around and took a picture, later on when it was developed, there's a shadow man standing right there watching us the whole time. So if you go to Tombstone, it's a good place to get all your voice recording, you know, get all of your EVPs basically. And yeah, just really enjoy it out there. I enjoy it every time I go out there. Okay. So that's it for that area. And let me ask one more question about Tombstone. We also did the bird cage. The bird cage was really haunted. We did we got some EVPs, but it was very, very faint. We couldn't use it. But yeah, when you're in there and everything is quiet. If you just listen, and you will start to hear them. You'll hear shuffling, you'll hear talking, people will see movement where the top area is, where the gentleman would get entertained. So is the bird cage haunted? So we're talking about the bird cage right here. Okay, so when we go in, here's, and again, going in with all of your equipment. And this is, a bird cage is also where it was a bunch of showgirls and dances. So this is showgirls right here. Okay, these are the showgirls. This is like if they had their feathers or whatever they carried, or their little feather hat. It's right there. And yeah, there was also arguing and drinking. Like I tell you, this is my card when people get high. There are people in there doing things they weren't supposed to be doing too. And of course, people also died. So the bottom question asks is it haunted? And that's definitely, it is a big yes. And it's also, you have to have your gear out and everything to listen. But it is a good place to go if you do want to do your ghost hunting. So in the long run, you will catch the apparitions, the ghosts that are there. You're not going to catch spirits there, but you'll catch ghosts. I don't think I've run into any spirits in there, but it's mostly ghosts. Okay, so that's for this one. We'll do another one. Where can it go right there? Look at you. You just think you have everything right there, girl. Okay. You say so. Not real sure. It's alright. So will they have class tomorrow? Yeah, they're gonna have class. Will I have fun in it? No. So I'm just gonna go in there and just say, okay. How's the rest of my day going? It is a lot better, but I know I need to get things done. So I'm on my way. Okay. No worries, no worries. No worries. Don't worry about justifying everything and stop worrying. Just get it done. Okay. Thank you.